Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party, episode 31. Pretty good. Starting off with a bang. Get my sippy cup here and we're going to get right to work. You know what I mean? We got to put some work in today, try to do this nice and clean. So, pretty sure everybody knows what happened this week, but we're going to go through it nonetheless, you know, in case you missed anything. If you missed it, I really don't know how. But, you know, here it goes. So, we had our debates. You know, at this point, I don't really think there's much to be said about, you know, the effectiveness of these debates. I think everybody's sort of made up their mind. I mean, I don't really see a lot of people from the Republican side changing their minds. I'm hopeful that Democrats are starting to, you know, Democratic voters are starting to see what's going on here. You know, yeah, you can say whatever you want about Trump, boorish, unpresidential, undiplomatic. You could say he's not a politician. That's what we love about the guy, you know? He's not a politician. You know, he's a fighter. He's an American. I think, personally, I think he's more for what's right, not who's right. Obviously, the debates, you know, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret it. Who won? I don't freaking know. It was a dumpster fire, man. I wish somebody better than Biden was up there, man. I wish there was somebody up there who was at least somewhat moderate, somewhat in touch with the situations that we're going through. Somebody who's not believing all the media BS. You know, I think that's a big problem with the Democrats. They're starting to believe their own press, so to speak. And, you know, the truth of the matter is when you have a mainstream media, to use the term, that is just full of lies, all you have is propaganda. And, you know, I grew up in a time of the Soviet Union, communism, trying to take over the world, blah, 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 blah. And I basically learned that propaganda was bad. I mean, I was really surprised when I learned that they used propaganda during the Revolutionary War. I mean, that people consider our patriotic messages during World War II and at other times in history to be propaganda. I guess there's good propaganda and bad propaganda, I suppose. You know, I don't know, but when it's political and it's lies, it's propaganda. Well, you know, if you're fine with that, I guess you're fine with it, you know. But after all the attacking that the media does about what Trump did or didn't say, or, you know, like the big thing is he didn't condemn white supremacy, which he's done. He was backed into a corner, and he doesn't like to get pushed, so he was basically nonchalant about his answer, dismissive with his answer. But, you know, again, Biden didn't condemn Antifa. They're out committing violence against police officers and federal troops. I mean, that is tantamount to war. So I don't really understand why we haven't done more about these assholes. But he refused to. He refused to answer whether he would pack the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is supposed to be there to have balance. The law's balance. And to look at things and say, is this right or is this wrong? Not, does this fit my political agenda? And that's the problem we're having, is if we're going to try to run a country based upon one side's political agenda and nothing more, we're fucked. Bottom line, we're fucked. It ain't going to work. I mean, this is what the Democrats are holding fast onto, is a lot like the Sharia law, where everything is just this cut and dry, black and white, right and wrong. There's no middle ground. There's no common sense. It's just, it's wrong because I said it's wrong. That, you know, it's the way I see it. I can't hang my hat on something Trump has done or proposed that it irritates me or scares me the same way some of these Democrat proposals do. I mean, we'll touch on more of those as we go along here because it's ridiculous. Biden called all of our systems racist. Man, that's just a load of shit, dude. That's just shitting all over the people who are trying their best to have love in their heart and to do the right thing. It's like when Garcetti called the cops killers. That ain't cool, man. I don't need that. We don't need that running our country, believing that everything's racist. And the worst part about it is he's just saying it because he's fucking part of it. He was there with the segregationists, the KKK leaders, the crime bill. He created these 47 years, half of a fucking century. That dude has been in government only slightly less than I've been alive. Man, that's fucking ridiculous. If the system's racist, he's a part of the system. He's an ingrained part of the system. You can't argue he's not. You cannot say that Joe Biden is not part of the system, that he is now calling racist. You know? That's it. I mean, you are essentially condemning your past self. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. But you're not apologizing for it. No. You're saying it, you're using it to gain votes. And that's all you're doing, is you're trying to gain votes. You're not trying to fix shit. Because you're the one who fucking broke it. You're the one who broke it. And your running mate is another batshit crazy person who wants to just put everything into a fucking blender. Because as long as she's got her money, she don't care about the rest of us. I mean, you guys can say whatever you want about Trump. You can say it. But the Democrats prove it. They prove it time and time again that they don't give a shit about us, the regular folks. We'll get to that a little bit, man. But the other one, of course, is our president has COVID. Me, I'm not worried about it. You know, I hope to God I'm not wrong, but I think he's in the best hands possible. I'm hoping our best and our brightest doctors attend to the president. You know, mentally, I know he's tough. Has to be tough. Look at all the bullshit he's been putting up with. He's not a career politician, folks. You know, we'll get to that in a minute. You know, here's this is one of the best meme smiths out there. Donktum. You've probably seen his work. But, you know, this is what we're seeing. And you could throw back in my face if you want. You could point out times where Republicans have been hypocrites. I get that. But the Democrats are trying to hold themselves up as not hypocrites, as compassionate people, caring people, saying that they're the ones who care about you. Donald Trump hates you, but we care about you. But you see what those people are like. You can, yeah, it's right there. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not rebroadcasting none of those ugly tweets, none of those ugly Instagram posts. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to see the negative stuff here. You know, they spent the entire week demanding that he condemn hate and then flipped, hoping that he and his wife died. That's who we are dealing with. That's who they're the ones who set this in motion. They talk about a peaceful transfer of power, but in 2016, they tried to frame Trump. They have fought him every step of the way. They boycotted his inauguration. They have constantly and consistently blamed him for everything in this country. Things that he had no hand in. No hand in it. But they still blame him. Now they want him to die. That's who they are. That's who these people are, you know. I couldn't stand Obama, but I didn't wish him ill will like that. That's shitty, man. Not to mention we would have ended up with Biden as our president, but besides the point, yeah, that's just ugly. It's just ugly. So now we're going to move on for a quick second into the intelligence corner. Thomas Sowell. Look him up. Look him up. Too many journalists see their work as an opportunity to promote their own pet political notions rather than a responsibility to inform the public and let viewers and readers decide for themselves. Got that flip-flopped at the end. But that's how you have a smart, educated, wise, whatever population. You present the story and you let people decide. You don't spin every gosh darn thing that comes down the pike. Pipe, whatever. But that's what they do now. And it's very dangerous, folks. Because right now, they have you out there believing that Trump is the worst thing for America. And he's not. He's redone trade deals. He's brought peace to the Middle East 3 times. 3 separate peace agreements now out there. We're cleaner than we've ever been as a country in terms of the environment. Look it up. It's there. I heard an interview with the head of the EPA. Trump has cleaned up more of these Superfund sites in his 4 years than Obama did in his 8 years. Look at that. That's freaky to me. I'm trying to count on my fingers, man. He's done good for the environment. He's done good for minorities. He's done good for America. He's done good for the world. You know who's really worried right now is Taiwan. And I'll tell you why Taiwan's worried. Because the Chinese and their chip manufacturers and their technology companies are getting banned. They're getting banned in European countries. And they're getting banned in the United States. Huawei. Banned here, and they're banned in the UK. So don't think it's some sort of racist shit coming out of Trump. They're banned in a lot of places now. They're going to lose a significant portion of their business to Samsung. That's the bottom line. Look that one up. Mr. the Boss or some crap like that. I don't remember that kind of stuff. But anyhow, back in the 30s, after World War II, World War I, before World War II, Hitler took back some lands, the Sudeten land, and a couple other lands, and people were like, well, it used to be Germany, and most of the people that live there are German, and it's not that big of a deal, but please, Mr. Hitler, please knock it off. China's taken Hong Kong. Pretty much by force. Hong Kong certainly didn't want to go. I mean, they didn't. By the way, a big FU to the NBA for supporting China over Hong Kong. But anyhow, so what's next? They got to get to South Korea. The only way they're ever going to beat Samsung at this point is to seize control of the country. And you don't think that's possible. You don't. Ask Poland. Ask Belgium. The Netherlands. France. England. Did you ever think you were going to be overrun by Hitler? No. People in those countries, people in the Russian provinces, they didn't think Hitler was going to come. They thought somebody would step up and stop him. But Taiwan's the next step. They're already massing there. We're already having issues. And the Chinese are likely to move during either the confusion pre or post-election. But I think especially if Biden wins. I don't think Biden has the guts. I don't think he does. I think they're in bed with the Chinese. I think Trump's a businessman. I think Trump's done business with that country enough to know what a bunch of two-faced bastards they are. I don't think he likes them very much. I think he would take us to war to prevent Taiwan from falling. Because, going back to when I was born, the Vietnam War, they had a theory called domino theory. The communists would take one country, then the next country, the next country. They'd fall like dominoes. Well, that didn't... Some people say it happened, some people say it didn't happen. It's It's just a theory. Whatever. Kind of did, kind of didn't. Whatever. But before the Chinese can move on something, move through North Korea and into South Korea, which, by the way, they can do. They border North Korea, and North Korea will pretty much do whatever they say at this point. Whatever, who's in charge can say whatever he wants, but he's not going to protect South Korea from the Chinese. He's going to move out of the way and let them in. But that won't happen. That won't happen if there's pushback on Taiwan, because we won't allow South Korea to fall like that. But just like with Hitler we said, okay, stop. He took some more, and we did nothing. And again, we made up excuses for it. Oh, he annexed Austria. Oh, and Austria and Germany are already close. And, he took some other lands that were kind of, he needs some room. So, okay, we whinged. That's what we did. We sat and whinged about what to do, and we let him do it. And he gambled. And then he invaded Poland. And we said enough is enough. But by that time, he was too close. He was already poised to run roughshod over the Low Countries, Belgium and Netherlands, bust into France, and seize everything. He had Mussolini in the south, he had Franco in the west, and he had a deal with Stalin in the east. So he moved, bam, just like that, blitzkrieg. That's the same scenario we're in right now. And I'll tell you right now, North Korea is going to be the Russians, because they're going to make a deal. They're going to move out of the way. They're going to let the Chinese through into South Korea. And then when they're done with South Korea, they're going to turn around and they're going to take North Korea. That's what's going to happen. That's their plan of attack. That's their dream. That's what they want. Because if they don't, they're not going to have any leverage. They're going to start losing all the semiconductor business and 5G networks. Look it up. They've lost. The Chinese businesses are taking a huge hit. And if it continues like this, that country's not going to have the same sort of money coming in that they once did for the people at the top to grab and not dole out. And that's why it's important that we're making informed decisions. Hey, if we lose Taiwan and we lose South Korea, we're going to have to find new places to build stuff. Things are going to be more expensive. We are going to have massive shortages, as we already know from the coronavirus, the COVID-19. We already know. They have too much stuff being made over there. You don't get it. Man. I just can't believe the Democrats have fallen so far away from the middle that they're literally like an opposing side to me now, man. It really pisses me off. They riot in Democrat cities with Democrat mayors and burn down Democrat businesses and then say vote Democrat. I mean, the writing's right there. I mean, you have to understand. I live in California where I see the blueprint for America. And the blueprint for America is to give more rights to criminals, to give more rights to illegal aliens. Here in California, we have to get a whole nother ID because our ID, our normal driver's license is no longer good enough because we give it out to illegal aliens. You'll see some more of the crap that they're doing to us here, man. It's just ridiculous. I mean, and again, we've got a whole, join me, check this channel, and I'm going to do everything on the propositions of California so you can see some of the insanity. But every time we vote something down, they just bring it back next year. They just bring it back next cycle. Repackage it and try to pull the same bullshit. I mean, we've got propositions out there right now that are so bad, even Gavin Newsom's against them. What the F? We're about to kill off every single Postmate driver, Uber driver. They're sponsoring this thing, AB5, and they want to just take away people's ability to work when they can, which is Uber, Postmates, all of those. Lyft, I don't know them, I don't use them. But these people, I know people who, if they have time on the weekend or if they have time after work, and I work in a job where you're usually pretty tired, and this dude's going out and he's doing his Postmate. He can't afford to be on a time clock. He can't be afford to have a schedule. He can only do it when he can do it to make that little extra money. And they want to strip that away, man. You know, they want to strip that away. And then they get backing from people like Baldwin. Look at him. I mean, I don't care that he parodies Trump at all. I really don't care. I've never seen one of them. Don't care. Literally don't care. But these fucking assholes, man, they're part of the rich. The truth of the matter is, Democrats only want two things, rich, poor. Republicans are all about the middle class now. I'm sorry, they are. You want to argue it? Let's fucking argue it. We can argue it until the cows come home, and you're never going to change my mind on that. Because I've seen it. I feel it. I live in a one-party state. I heard from somebody high up in the Republican Party of California. The problem is that as businesses and people see through the Democrats, see what the Democrats have in store, feel the blows from all the damn taxes, they don't try to contribute to the Republican Party. They don't try to win back this state. You know what they do? They move. And that seems to be fine with the current and previous administrations. You know, they don't care. You have to see that. I understand that they agree with some stuff you agree with, and that you disagree with stuff that Republicans see. But overall, you have to understand that they are just lying and they don't care. Take it, whatever. They don't care. It's right there. You could read some of that right there, but that's what they do. That's why in California we have 30% tax on marijuana. $2 a pack tax, just an added $2 a pack on cigarettes. The highest gas prices because of all the taxes. Tax after tax after tax. Sales tax around here is over 10%. 10% of everything I buy is a tax. And nobody will try to stop them. Nobody. They either pay it or they leave. You're either rich or you're poor. That's it. That's all they want. You know? And one of their biggest lies is that they're there for African Americans, for the blacks, for the people of the Latin countries, the people of the Asian countries, the people from all over the world. They're there to help you. But they're not. What do? They want to let you into the country. If you're broke, they'll give you checks, which doesn't seem to help. It seems to lock people in, give them no hope. Pretty much, pay them to stay home. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how I would live like that. Meanwhile, Trump's done stuff. He's right there. It's right there. He's done stuff. He's put up money directly for things. None of his lip service like BLM. BLM. They only care if they're shot by cops. That's it. If they can't riot and cause trouble over it, what are they doing? Are they doing anything about diabetes awareness? Are they trying to figure out any sort of solutions to calm the streets of places like, let's say Chicago, where like 50 people are getting shot every weekend? Are they doing that? What, black and black crime? They're against the family, so they're not going to help there. Good are they doing? Where's the racist in that list of the accomplishments? You guys, if you don't look, you're not going to hear of Trump's accomplishments, but this is one of them right here. So now we get to move a little bit faster here because we're running a little short on time. This is what I mean by Democrats and their stupid ideas. Gavin Newsom, in the middle of all of this turmoil, has now appointed a committee to try to figure out how we could pay reparations. And he tries to frame it around America, but he's using Californians' money. We were a free state. We didn't have any plantations here. I don't get it. If the federal government eventually does this stupid plan, at least it's the federal government. None of the people who are alive today were slaves. I'm sorry if you were a descendant of a slave, but you weren't a slave. I understand that the road has been tough. But the road has been tough for a lot of people. You could say there's systemic racism, but try going through life with other problems. Lots of different people have lots of different problems and we don't get checks. I spent over a decade an anxious mess. I didn't get any checks. I didn't get disability. I didn't get unemployment. I survived by my wits. And that was it. You know, people around me helped me. But I didn't get anything from the government. I had problems. My whole brain was in my way. Oh, I think people need to overcome. I don't think that paying anybody off is going to do anything other than give people money. It's not going to change anything. It's not real reparations because it's not paying people who are affected. And it's not money that's being taken by people who inflicted the harm in the first place. But whatever. But that just shows you. We don't need to be focusing in on reparations right now. We've got way more important shit to be doing. Here you go. The media. Serving up a big fat softball to creepy fucking Joe right there. Harris Biden. Because keep in mind, folks, it's going to be Harris Biden. Yeah, you watch. You watch, man. You watch. This might be the first poisoning ever in U.S. presidential history. Yeah, pretty sure I know who's on it. I saw this one because this is just a quick reminder because, you know, I get where people are coming from. But right now, they're protesting off of really bad cases, you know, and no credit has been given for any of the strides that we've made in this country. You know? And that clown, sorry, man. But, you know, those kind of stunts don't, you know, put seats in the crowd, put people in the seats. And you hated it when Tebow did it. Because it's for you, it's only, you know, it's fine for a player to kneel if it's your cause. It's not fine if it's for something you disagree with. That's the pure definition of fascism, by the way. Remember that time you took, and it was undercover that you read it. I can't read this. That's Chris Farley, man. I missed out. That was some of the best Saturday Night Live right there. You know, he would just, man, the one where he interviews Paul McCartney. But this is what I mean. I don't see these scandals. I see, out of the Trump family, I see all trying to do their part, man. I see a family who's like, fighting for America, trying to do right by America. I mean, that's what I see. You can't call me brainwashed. I didn't vote for the guy, man. I'm converted. He earned my respect. His family earned my respect. I don't know what else to say. The Democrats lost me a long time ago. You know, Trump won me over. I don't know what to say, you know. And we're going to finish this with my favorite one that I found this week. Welcome to California, the state where we mandate you buy electric cars, then we turn the power off. Gavin Newsom doesn't even have the ability to make that statement. It needs to be approved by the EPA, and they're not going to approve it. And you want to know why? It's not politics. I'll tell you why. First of all, electricity is dirty to make. Electric cars use batteries that come from places that burn coal for electricity. They're completely offset. The production of those batteries it needs to be offset. So driving an electric car, you're not doing anything for the environment. It's a net zero, big fat net zero. Don't tell me that's some sort of white supremacy bullshit either. I don't want to hear that. Although I kind of do want to hear that because it means at least somebody's watching, right? But the main reason is electricity is dirty. It's dirty. It is. That's just factual. You can look it up. Look up about slavery and batteries and the pollution involved with making the batteries. And you can only recycle them so many times, so eventually they're toxic. But the main reason why the EPA would never sign off on this is because in 15 years we may have something cleaner. And even though I've gone long, man, one last little statement that I want to make. We have something out there that can reduce emissions and get our farmers back to work. And it's called ethanol. It's made from corn. Our farmers could make some money. We could have cleaner gasoline. Because electricity, man, as soon as you have a blackout, you can't run your gasoline engine to power up your cell phone if it runs on batteries and doesn't have gasoline engine. It's kind of simple. But again, it just shows how Democrats don't ever think. Sadly, the only way to really describe it is brainwashed and stupid. Copious, out. Peace, y'all. Hey, thanks for watching.